Wow. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Milliken, just a classic belt maker. What a trip under the learning tree of Dave Milliken. Um, yeah, I wasn't expecting to go that long, but it was absolutely fantastic, man. Learned there was so much to know. It's just like I said, man, it's just I love talking to people really behind the scenes to really the people who are responsible for making the wrestlers look good. And Dave Milliken is one of those people. So go to iTunes and subscribe to it and listen to the interview with Dave Milliken, the belt maker. Very interesting stuff. So thank you once again, Dave Milliken. Go to blogtalkradio.com, download the interview, and tell people about the show. As we got Mo, we got Joseph, we got Multi Apples, we got the crew, we got the PNP Nation, the hashtag PNP Nation coming on here, the Wrestling Inc. live and living color YouTube page, getting funky like a monkey if you will. We're gonna have some fun like we do as always, ladies and gentlemen. This episode is going to be truncated because of the interview being so long, but we're still going to have a lot of fun, and we're still going to ask trivia just like we always do every week. So without further ado, let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Who did Kerry Von Erich defeat to win the Intercontinental Championship? Who did Kerry Von Erich defeat to win the Intercontinental Championship? Brandon's already on it. Brandon is already on it, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Perfect. Speaking of Mr. Perfect, today we're going to talk about the flavor of the week where no one suggested any movie. And I was looking at different movies to watch, and I was like, I'm not really interested in most of the movies that I saw. So, there wasn't any interest there, unfortunately. So I guess unless someone tweets me at Chris Prolific, a movie to watch that I haven't watched, that's a PG-13, a wrestling movie, let me know. If not, I guess last week was the end of the hashtag wrestling movie series. Multi Apples is asking hashtag ask Chris. So what did your sources say about the question I asked on Twitter? So I did reach out to some sources, and I didn't get any clear-cut answer as far as just what Brock Lesnar, how they feel about Brock Lesnar. So maybe they're upset that if they find out that it was them that said it, they'll get beat up or something. I don't know. But speaking of sources, I did break some true sources. This is the validates. Mo, I did see the wrestler. Yes, I did see that. I did break a source. I did break some news about Monday. People were, speculating that Hulk Hogan may have come to Raw. I did reach out and spoke to a source, and he said that it was all speculation and people say crazy things. And so I did break that Hulk Hogan was not on Raw. So my sources were correct on that. So, I'm telling you, man, I got some good sources. Broke the Brian Lawler stuff, unfortunately, on Wrestling Inc. As far as reaching out to a source, my boy Evan also we were discussing it, and so yeah. I got another Ask Chris question. I just saw it. Something about Paul Heyman turning on thoughts on Paul Heyman. Ask Chris. Yes, I did predict the Brock. I did. Yes. Kudos to Mo, ladies and gentlemen. I did predict that Paul Heyman will turn on Brock Lesnar. I've been saying that for weeks. I said I see a turn. I see a dissension between the two, and I see that Roman Reigns. I stand by this. Roman Reigns will be in cahoots with Paul Heyman come SummerSlam, and it's making me very excited because a Roman Reigns heel turn with Paul Heyman at the helm, as far as the mic work, oh my goodness, that's going to be. I'm very excited about that. So, a couple Ask Chris questions before we unfortunately call the somber moment of the 3 passing away and bring my boy Evan on here. We have a shorter version of the show tonight, but we're going to have some fun. Okay, so we got Brandon asking, do you think Sabol will ever make the Hall of Fame? I just had it's so funny. I just had a conversation about this recently, and I don't think so. I don't think she has a strong enough body of work to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, she had a couple of cool moments. She was in a time frame, but I wouldn't say her overall body of work was Hall of Fame worthy, personally. Mike is asking, what do you think of Elias calling out The Rock a lot lately? Is there has to be a payoff, right? Yes, as far as I've heard, they're kind of testing the waters to see if Rock could face Elias potentially, but I don't see that as some type of big marquee match. I really like Elias. I think Elias is doing fantastic. He's one of the best overall characters in WWE, but to me, that just doesn't have a big fight marquee feel to it. All right, one more before we go. Jose is asking, would you have Cena as Doctor of Thugonomics and Undertaker, American BA, at SummerSlam and have a good build-up? No, I think ABA Taker. There was some speculation that he may have he could have potentially came back at WrestleMania. However, he didn't come back, which I'm very, very happy that he didn't come back. And this guy here, Evan Tech Prout, and we were there right next to each other to see the return of the Undertaker, and in a much better shape. So this Undertaker was a lot better than the Undertaker we saw last year in Orlando.
He
was. Yeah.
Taker looked the best he had since 31.
Yeah.
From 31 to 30. Taker was good. It makes me even think, like, I kind of wish he would have took off a couple of years to get fully healthy. We knew he wasn't even 50% at Mania last year.
Right.
Reigns.
Right.
It's funny because I'm not the biggest Reigns fan, but
you will be soon, though.
Reigns got so much heat on that match. I don't hate Reigns. I mean, I'm Reigns is okay. I'm not even gonna say outside of Reigns, but Reigns is. I don't like the nickname. I know.
Yeah.
But,
the big dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say it is a totally thing to do. When I was at the Ring of Honor shows, or we go to random events with each other, big dogs, and a lot of people need to get mad and be laugh. But I'm okay with Reigns. I respect him, but he gets so much heat on things that he shouldn't. I think the worst on Cena was when we dealt with the 15 years of Dr. Thugonomics, Cena Nation, Chain Bang, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Taker looked great this year at Mania, and I think it should come back as when we was at Mania to go against Cena, and we can see Cena possibly defeating Taker at SummerSlam. At the end of the day, they both really don't need to know the first bell Hall of Famers. I just hope that they don't stretch it to where it has to be a rubber match at Mania next year. So if Taker goes against Cena at SummerSlam, have Cena defeat Taker, just end it. Let it be kind of cool, just a tie. Taker beat him at Mania.
Or they could do, he debuted at Survivor Series, so maybe they can do the rubber match of Survivor Series.
Yeah, they can. Like I say, that's the big marquee match you could do at Survivor Series. Could like I said, we went through 2 and 3 rematches or matches we really didn't care about. So I mean, that's a good idea. But Cena has to. It would be best if Cena wins still my princes in SummerSlam. They need something. They need other stuff. I would agree.
Yeah, I still think Taker should have retired at 28. I think that was a perfect send off. That match, the Hell in a Cell match between him and Triple H with Shawn Michaels as a ref, was absolutely fantastic. I think there's nothing that he's done over the past 6 years that makes me think differently. That he shouldn't have retired at 8. 29 doesn't mean anything because Punk doesn't even appreciate the fact that he went against Taker. 30 he lost, which I'm still not a fan of losing against Lesnar. 31 Bray, that didn't mean anything. Shane didn't mean anything. Last year, Reigns was fine. I was cool with Reigns. So maybe if they wanted to break the streak, he could have ended at 28, maybe came back at 34 or 33 5 years later, and Roman. And if they really wanted Reign to be over like that, I'd have been fine with that. But I mean, just from 29 to 32, 29, 30, 31, 32. So for 4 years, it didn't mean anything. I mean, this year it was good to see him back, but I would have been okay without him, honestly. But plus it was like a couple minutes, so it really didn't matter. Let's just a couple of these Ask Chris questions. We've got Mike asking, if you were booking Rock's next opponent, who would you put him with? Roman Reigns, for sure. Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. Yeah, okay. So yeah, DX is saying I agree. He should have retired 28. Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's really we got a shortage amount of time, so let's jump right to the headlines. Before we go to the headlines, all right, let me address these questions. Do you Multi Apples is asking, do you know if wrestlers have any heat in the WWE? That's a good question. So you ask all these questions that I need to pull on sources for. So that's another question you need to tweet to me. I don't know that answer yet. I haven't talked to anybody about having heat in the WWE as far as specific people having heat, but I'll reach out to people. Jump Tube was saying this. It's the man bun edition. Yes, I am sporting a man bun currently right now. For those who are looking and listening through the video cast, they can see me in my man bun. I have locks and they're in a man bun right now. So for those who are listening via Blog Talk Radio on iTunes, you can only imagine, me and my man bun. You can always archive it and look at it on the Wrestling Inc. YouTube page, but it's always fun to do it now. Wait a minute. It's always fun to do it now, because you know why. you know why it's good to do it now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I do it for you. Next trivia question. The Invasion pay-per-view airs on which month? Aired on which month? The Invasion pay-per-view aired on which month? A, January. Multiple choice, ladies and gentlemen. Multiple choice. A, January. B, May. C, July. Or D, October. The Invasion pay-per-view aired on which month? A, January. B, May. C, July. Or D, October. I'm seeing some Octobers and Julys. The correct answer is C, July, ladies and gentlemen. July. Got an actress question real quick. Brandon's asking, why do you think Goldberg was so over in WCW? That's easy, because he was the man. He was just he was electric. I mean, it had nothing to do with his wrestling, because he barely even wrestled. He was just so electric. He was an anomaly. He was just, I mean, just his character was just so electrifying. So
pretty much what Strowman should be now. Don't talk. Beat somebody's butt and leave.
Yeah, he grunted a lot. a lot. Goldberg grunted a lot.
He snorted. Grunted, snorted, sniffed.
Right. He spat a lot in the ring. Yeah.
Spat a lot. Sniffed.
Yes. Yeah.
And he said, "Who's next?" That was it. And his matches was under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless he went against, DDP, Sting, or Brett. But even then, the matches was, Hogan, Hall, Nash. Even then, the matches were, they protected him.
Yeah. Yep.
Justin Strowman should be now.
He was the man. He was the man.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
And he legit.
Yeah, he's the reason why everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's also the reason why people get this. Goldberg is the one that started the branding of tattoos. Before Goldberg, nobody started showcasing tattoos in wrestling. And no one gave Goldberg a WCW this, and WCW was not known for their market, the big great marketing. But because of that Goldberg tattoo, after that, everybody started using their tattoos now on their shirts, on their shirts, on their tights. Everybody started branding it.
Yeah, he was the man. I was a big Goldberg fan back in the day. Still am. Yeah, he's in my top 10 all time. Yeah. Yeah. It was he was exceptionally nice to me before we talked, before I interviewed him. He was a great guy to me. All right. One more trivia question before we get into the headlines. Here we go. People are asking me questions. Hashtag ask Chris. Hashtag ask Chris. Blank managed the Hardy Boys in 1999. GHP already, ladies and gentlemen. Michael P.S. Hayes. What does the P.S. stand for? That's a real quick two-parter. What does the P.S. stand for? Michael P.S. Hayes. All right. Let's get right into the headlines without further ado, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Jump Tube saying purely sexy. Almost. All right. Pretty sexy. Let's see. Pretty sexy. Michael P.S. Hayes. As far as I know, it was pretty sexy, if I'm not mistaken. Jose is asking real quick, what's your favorite WrestleMania 20 match? Yeah, purely sexy. You're right. Purely sexy. Purely sexy. My favorite WrestleMania 20 match. I loved Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was the man. I was so happy that he retained the WWE Championship that night. So I would say Guerrero Angle. I'd probably say Guerrero Angle for WrestleMania 20. Actually, the triple threat was amazing too. Specifically,
because Eddie and Angle was good at SummerSlam too, but
the triple threat.
No, I'm sorry. And then Eddie wasn't Eddie and Angle SummerSlam too? Did they have a rematch? Or was that Angle and Brock?
Angle and Brock, I believe, that year was SummerSlam 2002. Let's see. SummerSlam 2002.
No, wrong. SummerSlam 02 was Brock and Rock.
Brock and Rock, right. That's when Brock won the championship. Yeah.
I'm thinking of 03 was Angle. And now, yeah, I'm with you. Now if you think about it, yeah, Eddie and Angle be one and Triple Threat be one.
Yep. I liked Undertaker Kane. I didn't really like the match, but I just liked the fact that Undertaker was coming back as Dead Man Taker. So that was good for me. Yeah. And just the Triple Threat was fantastic because JR's commentary on that. You have Chris Benoit's craziness aside. You have to watch WrestleMania 20 again. just to hear JR's commentary when Benoit won, because I mean, dude, it just seemed like the dude was going to have a heart attack. He was just, I mean, he was so into the match. It was fantastic. All right, real quick, Mike's asking, would you agree that two top stars of the generation are Roman and Rollins seem to always be two top guys? First Hogan and Savage, then Brett and Shawn, then Rock and Austin, Cena and Orton. No, I wouldn't say Rollins is the top guy of this generation. Certainly Roman Reigns. I would say it says, would you agree that two top stars of this generation are Roman and Rollins? Seem to always be two top guys. First Hogan and Savage, then Brett and Shawn, then Rock and Austin, then Cena and Orton. I would say Roman for sure.
Roman's top. Seth isn't there yet.
No.
Seth is like, if you compare them, Seth is like the Ricky Steamboat. He's like the highest mid card you're going to get. And Ricky was great at WCW, and WWE, you know, Ricky Steamboat was like the high mid card.
Yeah, I would say maybe AJ, but AJ, to me, it seems like AJ is toward the twilight of his career, though. So, I mean, he just had a really good twilight of his career.
Yeah, AJ's at the twilight. And I mean, let's be real. Everyone knows AJ beyond WWE. It's kind of like
right.
WWE. Like, we all knew Flair way before WWE. It's just WWE just happened to be like AJ, Flair, Sting. Like, WWE is like the icing on the cake. We all been known who they were. They're always been legends. You know, they just, the icing on the cake just helped.
Yeah. GHP is saying AJ, it seems like AJ is United States champion. Yes, very true. All right, so let's get right into the headlines. Somber moment. Nikolai Volkoff, Brian Christopher, and Brickhouse Brown passing away. All on Sunday. So crazy. Wow. Brickhouse was 57, battling cancer. He survived 9 days. You know, people were saying, you know, it wasn't a miracle. I like I said last week, I totally disagree with that, because you mean the court, as far as I know, the coroner was coming, and they, you know, pronounced him dead, and you know, he woke up under the sheet, if I'm not mistaken, and said, "Mom, I'm hungry." So I mean, that definitely wasn't on his own volition, and so yeah, I mean, you know, however, whatever the reason for him to stay 9 days was, you know, it happened. So, and real quick, and then Brian Christopher, that was so tragic. I mean, his Lawler is talking. Someone's asking if has he made any statement. Has Lawler made a statement? Yeah, he did. There was a local site that interviewed him, and he was talking about that he broke the silence about the investigation. So basically, he wanted to. There's an investigation that's being talked about, and then Lawler was talking about, you know, he was talking about how things just seems fishy, but because as far as, you know, the wide belief is concerned, you know, he hung himself in jail. He was in jail for about 4 weeks, almost 4 weeks, some DUI stuff, but unfortunately he's created a rap sheet, you know, for quite some time. And as far as I think Meltzer talked about how Lawler wanted to get him in rehab, and you know, just, you know, he wanted him, there was like a big old bond, and he wasn't going to front him the bill. So, you know, it was really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, man, because I mean, 46 years old is young, and to really live a Milliken. I'm glad that Dave Milliken said something, positive about him. But there's a lot of reports to say that when he was sober, he was, an awesome guy. But when he wasn't, he was chaotic and crazy. So unfortunately, so Nikolai Volkoff is a more, as far, I think he was dealing with some heart stuff, and he was refusing to. Yeah, Trevor Lee's dad. Yep, co-creator of Omega. Yeah, he passed as well. Yep. And yeah, so Volkov, from what I know, he was denying medical treatment, and he ended up dying, and he was 70 years old, I believe. And 70 is it's a long life, and so at least on his end, he got 70 years in. But Brickhouse at 57 years, and Lawler at 46. I mean, both of those ages are young, so it's really tough. I mean, the world just came crashing down as far as just the wrestling world on Sunday. It was tough just to get all these reports in that people were just dying, and it was crazy on Sunday.
Yeah, I say very quickly. I know we was at church.
Yep.
And my cell phone was blowing up constantly, but I was everything go public. I think even before I got a chance to talk to you, Chris. And I always say this, and fans listening may not understand it, but when you in the business like me and Chris are in the business of media, whenever you get a phone call from one of the boys, and it's not on a show day, it's normally bad news.
Yeah.
So one of the boys call you early in the morning, like they was hitting us up, or if I'm getting text messages late at night or early in the morning, and it's not a convention or it's not anything coming up, that's normally bad.
Yep.
So I know me and Chris, you saw some of their church, and I got a text message from some friends in WWE and around. When I got the text messages about Brian Christopher, I knew it was legit, because if I get a text or call from them, then it's no hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when he was talking with like, hey, it's confirmed. I got like text messages, he's gone. So I've been around Brian Christopher. I just was around him during WrestleMania weekend. I've been around the man sober, and I've been around the man drunk.
Mm-hmm.
He's always pleasant to me. He's pleasant to my staff. Strong guy, always been nice. Had come to talk to Jerry Lawler. Not, of course, don't listen to that, but I talked to Jerry Lawler multiple times at shows, at events. Jerry Lawler always been fucking with me. Nice guy, too. So, my condolences to Brian Christopher. I know he was dealing with a lot of demons.
Yeah.
And I did, hear some things I'm not going to mention publicly, was the whole investigation with him going away. Brickhouse, I can confirm that is true. Sadly, for years since my mom passed, hopefully none of you guys listening that is live or archived will be in a predicament as his mom. I've been there. I've been at the bedside of my mother, literally right after she passed away, seconds, and I've sat in her predicament, waiting in the corner or waiting for someone to get the body.
Mm-hmm.
And Brickhouse did wake up and said he was hungry. I've done good friends with Ron Blair. He was giving me permission to have, Brickhouse mom to have to see his own hair. So I've talked to Ron Blair, to Kobe Blair, about that, his confirmation.
Yeah.
It's a miracle. We don't know why he had an extra 9 days. He did wake up. He ate ice chips. He ate Jello. And he said his vitals were great for 9 days. And it was time to go.
Yeah.
And Nikolai Volkoff, who lived in Glen Burnie, Maryland, which is about 15 minutes from my house in the county. I live in Baltimore City. I've seen Nikolai several times. I'm very close friends with a wrestling personality. I'm not going to mention his name. I've seen him on TV. Who's close friends with Nikolai. And Nikolai is nothing but the nicest guy, sweet. Family is nice. you can't say anything bad about Nikolai. Everyone loves him. So this is my condolences, man. Sunday was man. Sunday was tough. You know, for us,
yeah,
our phones were going up, and it is really tough. So our prayers go out to the families. It's sad every week we do shows. Every my show, we do your show. We're always trying to put memorial on someone passing away in the business. So yeah. And I want to say we always talk like you can only go by how people treat you. I'm not gonna mention names, but I've seen some very unprofessional, very nasty. I'm sure you've seen it too, Chris. Certain wrestlers and some of the boys said some things about Warren Christopher online. That's just poor taste.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
There's a tweet from a former ECW guy that was just callous to me. Yeah. 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 Oh, just terrible. Absolutely terrible. JSP said, have to keep God first at all times. Amen. I wholeheartedly believe that. All right. So lighten up the moment here. Let's ask another trivia question. Who was the final cruiserweight champion in 2007 before it came back? Being in this chat with you guys every week always make my day. Wild Boy, you are the man. Thank you very much for that. All right, so let's skim through this. Yes, Jason. Great job. Hornswoggle. All right, so let's skim through the rest of them here. Mysterio wants to, so Rock wants to compete at WrestleMania. Meltzer talked about that, and also the speculation of Roman Reigns. I am 100% in favor of this. I think that's at this point, you know, WWE can't. Real quick, WWE does. They're not in a position where they can use current talent to really put over current talent, just because no one is bigger than the company in a way that they can really put over talent. I mean, Brock is, but he's a part-time guy. Let me get this ask Chris question from Jose real quick. Are you a huge fan of Cena as Doctor of Thugonomics? I think he was a really good heel at that time. Cena had a bad. I had a very rough spot in my heart for Cena because he beat Jericho one of his first matches, which I didn't like. Just some random. I think it was Vengeance 2002. Like he just randomly beat Jericho. I said, "You idiot." So, yeah. I mean, I am 100% in favor of Roman Reigns versus Rock. Just imagine, and real quick, just imagine a heel Roman Reigns wins the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. He's with Heyman, and you have all the verbal exchanges leading up to WrestleMania with Paul Heyman and The Rock. And The Rock comes back as a babyface. The main event of WrestleMania 35 in New York is The Rock versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Paul Heyman's in Roman Reigns' corner. Yeah, I don't see Goldberg or Taker losing, and I wouldn't want Taker to beat Goldberg, but I wouldn't want Goldberg to beat Taker either, though. I don't want to see Taker at all. I'm done with Taker.
Goldberg lost to Brock. So I mean, Goldberg could lose to Taker. Who's to say? Why not have it just be a no contest? No,
not at Mania. Absolutely. No, not at Mania.
We all know what they did, big buddies.
Yeah, but the thing is, he lost against Brock. He lost against Brock too. I don't see it. I know Goldberg wants to go against Taker, but I just don't see Taker beating Goldberg. And I don't see it, unfortunately. Wild Boy's asking, where do you see Triple H's career if he didn't marry Stephanie? Oh gosh, would he have NXT? I think Triple H. I think he would have been successful, still, but not corporately successful. That's for sure. All right, so all right, let's get right into. Let me see. We have okay. So Mysterio wanted to end his career in WWE. I think that's a good move. I think his stock has increased now, just because he's competing in the Indies, and he's much bigger than he was during his last WWE run, because he was teaming up with Sin Cara, and they were trying to get the tag team titles from the Rhodes Scholars. So it wasn't a good spot he was in. So I'm cool with him retiring in WWE. Sting wanted to Sting talked about on a recent Table for Three that he wanted to compete against I gotta give GHP some love here. Ask Chris, what if Roman came out with a drink called the Superman Punch? I gotta give it to him for that. That was clever. Very clever there. Yep. If Roman Reigns had a mutt, his name would be the Big Dog. So yeah, all right. So real quick, let's get through. So yeah, Sting. I don't know. I think Sting and Brock Lesnar would have been interesting. I'd have been okay with it, actually. Yeah, I think they would have been very, very interesting. I don't know about Sting. Debuting post. Survivor Series. See, I have conflicting thoughts on Sting. I mean, not on Sting. Period, but just Sting's debut. Now, a lot of people say that he should have came during the Invasion days, but I can imagine 16 years of Sting in the WWE. There's a higher part of me. What's going on? Pick those play from Ecuador. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so it's just I don't know. It's just I don't imagine. I can't imagine 16 years of the Undertaker in WWE. I just couldn't. I think it was better that he didn't come in the WWE and then debuted, because I think it would have upped this. I think it made him more of a mystique, more of just a major player, a major name. Although I still think one of the worst decisions in WWE history was to make Triple H beat him, because if he would have beat Triple H, it would have made Seth Rollins beating Sting better. Because here's my thoughts. I think that I would have been okay with Sting losing to Seth Rollins. That just made sense. I would have preferred a world title reign. So here's how I would have booked Sting real quick, because we only had about 10 minutes. All right, so I would have had Sting beat Triple H at WrestleMania. I would have had him beat Seth Rollins at Night of Champions. So I believe Night of Champions was September of that year. And Sting could have had the title for 2 months and could have lost it to Seth Rollins at Survivor Series. I would have been totally fine with a 2-month Sting title reign. Goldberg had the Universal Championship for like 3 weeks. So, it was less than a month. And yeah, I think it would have been, I think it would have been fantastic. Sting beat Triple H, beat Seth Rollins at Night of Champions, and then lose to Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, and then Raw after SummerSlam, say his goodbyes. Fantastic career. Are you a huge fan of Fozzy, and should Jericho go into the WWE Hall of Fame one day? Jose is asking that. Not a huge fan of Fozzy. I don't listen to that kind of rock, and Jericho should be in the Hall of Fame, absolutely. John is asking, what do you think about an ROH in New Japan versus WWE pay-per-view? I don't ever see that happening. All right. No. Chris Jericho interested in competing in the G1 Supercard. So that would be it would be 19 years since he's competed in a non-WWE would have been 20 years actually, because he debuted in 99, so almost 20 years. He debuted in August of 99. I think his last match was in July of 99 in WCW. And he in the Supercars on April 6th. I mean, he's competing in the Jericho Cruise this October, but you know, it's non-televised, so you know, it could happen. It'll be interesting. I mean, he's a much bigger name outside of WWE now than he is with WWE, so I think it would be very interesting if that happens. So yeah, for the sake of time, oh goodness. These some good questions. Jose's asking, how would you book Seth Rollins as a face, Roman as a baby face? Seth is a fantastic. I love Seth. I mean, I was not a fan of Seth for a long time. I think he's one of the best. He's one of my top in all of WWE right now. Mike is asking, so if The Rock comes back, do you think he will lose? Yes, he will put over Roman. Absolutely. All right, so real quick, Mike was asking, the crowd will cheer for Rock over Roman. Of course, yeah. He should go. Roman should go in as a heel at WrestleMania if they bring Rock back. What were you saying, Evan?
He's gonna go in as a heel. That's the problem with the fan base. You would have booked Reigns as a heel, Rock can go in as a face, but we still don't know how the fans are going to treat it. Remember Hogan and Rock, WrestleMania 18. Hogan was the heel, Rock was face. They switched it up. So the thing is, Reigns going to be the heel. Everybody's going to cheer him because he's a Heyman. Rock is going to come back.
Well, they're booing Brock though. They're booing Brock as a heel though. I mean, Heyman has that ability to really, you know, make the crowd not like him. You know, he has that ability. Yeah.
I mean that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But you know the fan base. If Reigns become a heel, which we hope, the fans will start cheering.
Yeah, they will, which is so weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Rock comes back to the thing, they're gonna cheer him, but then some fans will say, well, you know, The Rock did Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like the fans can do a 180, you just never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if they did it with Rock and Hogan was the heel, we cheered Hogan over The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I'm for it. Either way, it'll be fun. I just would love to see the positivity of the fans.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that I'm going and I'll be there, and I want to see Rock Reigns.
We'll be there and see.
Yep. Do you want to see Brock Lesnar beat Daniel Cormier in UFC? No, I think Cormier will win. Wild Boy's asking, do you think they building a tag match with Ambrose and Rollins against McIntyre and Dolph? That's yeah. I mean, he's you know, it's he's scheduled to come back in a month, so I can see that happening. I wouldn't have. I think Ambrose should be back as a heel. I think JR said that he don't think, you know, he should come back as a face, but Ambrose as a face is just you know, just mid card.
Real quick, can Ambrose gold beard? Ambrose always looks like he's dirty.
Yeah.
He's a dirty, cringy look. Ambrose, please go to SmackDown and be a heel. Seth Rollins is doing too great right now. He's being solo, whatever, burn it down.
Mm-hmm.
Competing against Dolph and Billy Keaton in the mid-card. He do not need Ambrose in Reigns.
No.
I mean, that's going to take away
and Rollins, yeah.
So, I mean, I really don't even miss Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
I forgot he's been gone that long.
Yep.
I'm not against Dean Ambrose, but just repackage him as a heel. Have him go full beard like Daniel Bryan. Have him go a tear out, even with the dingy white beaters like Billy Kidman did with the Flock. And then you know.
The Flock, ladies and gentlemen. The Flock was mentioned on episode 331 of the Pancakes and Powerslams show. All right, real quick. What chat room, what do y'all give? What grade do y'all give Raw? And let's just do that because we got to jump right into the flavor of the week. What grade do you give Raw, Evan?
C plus.
Yeah.
Angle finally got S5. He been S5 in about 15 years.
Yeah.
And Brock could say Taylor with an instant comment. Other than that, C plus. Never know what's really special happened to me.
We got Multi Apple saying F minus. Well, yikes, that's harsh. JSP 7.5, so that's a C plus. Joseph D, Wild Boy D, DXD, Lee B, Brandon 7, which is a C. John C minus. I say C. Solid C. I say C. Lesnar throughout the show was entertaining. Sold some seed in a possible breakup. I really hope that happens. Mo says C minus or C plus. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, good to see Rousey back. Yeah, I mean, just the leaders of worlds continuing to lose, which is terrible. I don't know why they're doing that. Why even? I don't even know why they would even think about breaking them up. I think it's terrible. Yeah, I think it's absolutely terrible. Yeah.
And real quick, why is it that Rousey is it the hypocrisy and something we want to be tested? Every time Rousey beats someone up after a match, she gets suspended. Yeah, everybody goes through it.
Right. All right, real quick. What's SmackDown? What grade do you give SmackDown, Evan?
C plus again. A little better than Raw. Maybe I'll give GHP. I give it like a 7.75. It's a little better. Nakamura attacking Jeff Hardy and Orton attacking Hardy was cool. The Miz being fought out by Daniel Bryan, I mean, that's good. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Also, that should have been a WrestleMania match, seeing that's a SummerSlam. Other than that, nothing really stood out. I mean, Charlotte, what's her name? Carmella for the triple threat.
Yeah.
SmackDown was just okay, but still a little better than Raw.
All right, real quick. C plus. Joseph C plus, Lee C plus, John B. All right. So we got a roll. GHP B. All right. So let's. I give it a C plus. Good. Charlotte Flair, Carmella was good. Daniel Bryan, Miz, good. Vega Lana was good, leading probably to a mixed tag at SummerSlam, I imagine. The Hardy Orton stuff is interesting to an extent. Bar Usos was good. So I'm a big fan of Lynch. Looks like there may be some dissension there. All right, so we got like 5 minutes, so let's roll real quick into the flavor of the week. Here we go.
It is now time for the flavor of the week.
All right, DX gave it a B as well. All right, so we're going to talk about, for the next couple of minutes, we're going to talk about the top 5 Intercontinental champions from the 80s and 90s who could have been world champions. So for sake of time, Evan, just roll through from 5 to 1. I got 2 honorable mentions, so I got 7 total. So if you got any honorable mentions, say them, but just roll through your top 5.
Top 5 places breaking up some. 5 for me, I didn't look the first year. Number 5. The first one was great. Easily could have been champion, but for some reason he wasn't WWE.
Mm-hmm. Now, jump is saying Savage. Savage end up being world champ. So, all right. So if you got any more, just go through them for the sake of time.
Ricky Steamboat, Scott Hall, Rick Amato Martel, and Roddy Piper.
Well, Martel never won the Intercontinental Championship. All right, so I'll say mine here. Honorable mention British Bulldog. Honorable mention Ricky Steamboat. All right, so No, DX Jared was never champ in WWE. Number 5, I have Owen Hart. Number 4, I have Rowdy Piper because he was rowdy before rowdy was cool. Number 3, I have Rick Rude. I definitely think Rude would have been a good world champ, especially when he was one of the biggest heels at that time. He was fantastic. Number 2, I have Reza Ramon. And then 1, I got Curt Hennig by far. I think Curt Hennig just absolutely. There's to me, it's just Hennig and Razor. To me, was like a very distinct top 2. Rude was such a good heel, for a short time, at that time. So, all right, we got a lot of answers here. Mr. Perfect, Razor Owen, says Lee. Piper was IC champ. Mo, yes, he's my number 4. Multi Apples is saying Pat Patterson. Reign ended in 1980. You know what? I don't think I was a big fan of Von Erich, but I don't know. I don't think he was good enough. Not good enough. I think he was good enough. I don't think he was over enough as in a long period of time to have the title. So, although I was a big fan, I was a huge fan. Rick Rude. People saying Honky Tonk Man. Austin was champ, John. He became world champ. Honky Tonk Man. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think he was just like, I think I compare Honky Tonk Man and Elias. Like, I think that they're both like really, really, really good mid-carders. And that's, you should strive to, everybody should strive to have the world title, but I mean, sometimes you're just kind of pinged in that really, really good mid-card spot like Tito Santana. So I was a big Tito fan, but I never saw him as a world champ. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. We was able to get to smash that that amount of substance in the time frame that we did. So it was an express version because of the interview being so long this week, but it was a fantastic interview. Absolutely fantastic interview. Again, go to blogtalkradio.com, download the show, listen to the interviews, and there's so much good content in a library, the Pancakes and Powerslams library. So it's been great. It's been a pleasure as always, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are awesome. We have the Pancakes and Powerslams show has the greatest chat of all time, and I'm going to stand by that. We have the coolest fans. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Enjoy it. Until next time, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless, and always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.